Today's story is about Jessica, a kind and successful woman whose love is put to the ultimate test when her fiancé's wealthy family humiliates her in front of everyone. Jessica had never cared about money. She grew up in a small town where hard work meant everything. After losing both of her parents at a young age, she worked multiple jobs, earned a scholarship, and eventually built a successful career as an architect. She wasn't rich enough to own private jets or luxury yachts, but she had earned every dollar honestly. 2 years earlier, she met Ethan at a charity fundraiser. Unlike the arrogant businessmen surrounding him, Ethan was warm, funny, and genuinely interested in people. Their relationship grew naturally, and before long, they were inseparable. When Ethan proposed, Jessica happily accepted. There was only one problem: his family. The Harrisons were one of the wealthiest families in the city. They owned hotels, investment companies, and luxury properties. From the very first meeting, Jessica felt their cold stares. Ethan's mother, Victoria, smiled politely but always managed to insult Jessica. Yes. Interesting. Not exactly Harrison-level success, but respectable. Jessica forced a smile. His sister Amanda constantly asked questions about Jessica's finances. How much is your apartment worth? Do you own stocks? Do you have family money? Jessica answered politely while realizing none of them wanted to know who she really was. Weeks before the wedding, Victoria insisted on hosting a lavish rehearsal dinner at the family's private country club. Crystal chandeliers sparkled above the guests. Expensive wine flowed freely. Jessica wore a simple navy blue evening dress. Several guests whispered as she entered. "That's the bride? I expected someone richer." Jessica ignored them. Halfway through dinner, Victoria stood. "I have one final wedding detail." She nodded toward Amanda. Amanda pulled a thick folder from her designer handbag. She slid it across the table until it stopped in front of Jessica. Silence filled the room. Jessica looked down. The title read, "Prenuptial Agreement." Amanda smirked. "Go ahead." Victoria folded her hands. "Sign it." Jessica blinked. "I'm sorry." Victoria didn't even hide her disgust. "We know exactly why women like you marry into families like ours." Several relatives laughed. Amanda leaned closer. "You're a gold digger." The words echoed through the dining room. Jessica looked at Ethan. He looked uncomfortable. He didn't say anything. Victoria continued. "This agreement guarantees that if the marriage ends, you leave with absolutely nothing." Jessica slowly opened the document. It wasn't just a normal prenup. It stripped her of every possible right. If Ethan cheated, nothing. If Jessica sacrificed her career, nothing. If they had children, almost nothing. It was designed to humiliate her. Amanda crossed her arms. "Well?" Victoria smiled coldly. "If you truly love my son, sign it." Jessica looked around the table. No one defended her. Not even Ethan. She quietly closed the folder. Everyone waited. Jessica smiled. But it wasn't a smile of defeat. It was the smile of someone who had just realized she had seriously underestimated the people sitting across from her. "If you want me to sign," Jessica said calmly, "then tomorrow, we'll all sign something together." The entire room fell silent. The next afternoon, curiosity spread through the Harrison mansion like wildfire. Jessica had invited Ethan, his parents, Amanda, and the family's attorney to a private meeting before she would make any decision about the wedding. When everyone arrived, Jessica stood calmly beside a conference table with a leather folder in her hands. Victoria folded her arms. "I assume you've come to your senses." Amanda smirked. "Ready to sign?" Jessica smiled politely. I am. But first, I'd like everyone to read something. She slid several identical folders across the table. Victoria frowned as she opened hers. The title read, Mutual Marriage Accountability Agreement. What is this? Amanda snapped. Jessica answered confidently. Yesterday, your family asked me to prove that I wasn't marrying Ethan for money. That's fair. Today, I'm asking everyone to prove they're treating me fairly. The room became quiet. Jessica continued. This agreement says that if Ethan is unfaithful, abusive, hides financial assets, or allows his family to interfere in our marriage, the prenup becomes completely void. The attorney raised an eyebrow and slowly nodded. Jessica wasn't finished. It also says that any property or savings I build with my own income remains entirely mine. And if I leave my career to raise our future children, that contribution will be recognized equally. Amanda scoffed. That's ridiculous. Jessica looked directly at her. Is it? Yesterday you expected me to sign a contract that protected only Ethan. Today I'm asking for one that protects both of us. No one spoke. Jessica turned toward Ethan. I love you. I always believed marriage meant partnership, not ownership. Ethan lowered his eyes. For the first time, he realized how humiliating the rehearsal dinner had been. Jessica reached into her purse and calmly placed another document on the table. My financial disclosure. Victoria looked confused. Jessica opened it herself. I thought you'd enjoy knowing the truth. Inside were investment statements, business ownership documents, retirement accounts, and property deeds. The Harrison family stared silently. She also held shares in several successful companies. Her total net worth exceeded $8 million. Amanda's face turned pale. Victoria whispered. That's impossible. Jessica smiled gently. I never discussed my finances because I believed people should love me for who I am, not what I own. The family attorney adjusted his glasses. I've reviewed these documents. He looked toward Victoria. They're authentic. Silence filled the room. Jessica looked at Ethan. I never needed your family's money. I wanted a family. Tears formed in Ethan's eyes. I'm so sorry, Jessica. Victoria finally tried to speak. We were only protecting our son. Jessica shook her head. No. You were judging someone you never bothered to know. She stood up and pushed the original prenup back across the table. I'll sign a fair agreement. But I will never sign away my dignity. Then she looked directly at Ethan. The real question isn't whether I deserve to marry into your family. It's whether your family deserves to be part of my life. The room fell completely silent as every member of the Harrison family realized that the woman they had called a gold digger was wealthier than most of them, and infinitely richer in character. The silence in the conference room lasted several seconds. No one knew what to say. Victoria stared at the financial documents in disbelief, while Amanda avoided Jessica's eyes for the first time since they had met. Finally, Ethan stood and walked toward Jessica. His voice trembled. Jessica. I'm ashamed. I should have defended you the moment my family insulted you at the rehearsal dinner. I failed you. Jessica looked at him quietly. I wasn't asking you to fight your family. I was asking you to stand beside me. Ethan nodded with tears in his eyes. You're right. He turned toward his parents. Mom. Dad. Amanda. Jessica is the woman I love. If you can't respect her, then you don't respect me. Victoria tried to interrupt. Ethan, we're your family. He gently raised his hand. No. My future wife is my family too. I won't let anyone humiliate her again. The room fell silent once more. For the first time, Victoria realized she had pushed her son away. Slowly, she walked toward Jessica. "I owe you an apology." Jessica remained calm. Victoria lowered her head. "I judged you because of your background. I assumed you wanted our wealth. I never stopped to learn who you really were. I'm truly sorry." Amanda stepped forward as well. "I was cruel. I thought money made people valuable. You proved me wrong." Jessica smiled softly. "An apology doesn't erase what happened. But it can be the beginning of something better." Several days later, Ethan and Jessica met with independent attorneys. Together, they created a completely fair prenuptial agreement. It protected both of their individual assets while ensuring that anything they built together during marriage would belong equally to both of them. There were no one-sided clauses. No humiliation. No hidden traps. Only mutual respect. A month later, the wedding finally arrived. Unlike the tense rehearsal dinner, the ceremony was filled with warmth and genuine happiness. Jessica walked down the aisle wearing a beautiful white gown, smiling confidently. As she reached the altar, Ethan whispered, "I promise that no matter what happens, you'll never stand alone again." Jessica smiled. "And I promise to build a life based on trust, not wealth." The guests applauded as they exchanged rings and became husband and wife. During the reception, Victoria took the microphone. "I want to say something." She looked at Jessica. "When Jessica first entered our family, I saw only what I imagined. Today, I see her heart. She taught all of us that character is worth far more than money." The room erupted into applause. Months later, Jessica and Ethan launched a foundation that provided scholarships for young women from low-income families who dreamed of becoming architects, engineers, doctors, and entrepreneurs. Jessica never forgot where she came from. She used her success to lift others instead of proving herself to critics. As for the Harrison family, they learned a lesson they would never forget. True wealth is not measured by bank accounts, luxury homes, or expensive dinners. It is measured by kindness, integrity, respect, and the courage to stand up for the people you love. And every time someone mentioned the infamous rehearsal dinner, Victoria would simply smile and say, "The greatest investment our family ever made wasn't in business, it was earning Jessica's forgiveness."